All right, we're rolling. I just realized it looks like the two lights behind you and the reflection look like bunny ears.
I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get tonight.
Oh yeah, you guys should have seen the setup we just had. What a palaver.
Oh, and that's another word I don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't know palaver?
A palava?
I feel like I'm too short here too. See, you're all getting behind the wall. There we go. I feel a bit taller now.
You look there you go.
They look exactly the same. I know.
Exactly the same.
Small.
I like your LED purple behind.
I had to do something. The last two episodes were killing me with the it was just white behind me.
Yeah. Killing me with my gypsy lifestyle, shooting from my bedroom, and I always made fun of people that would show up to Zoom meetings like with a bed behind them, and if they weren't traveling, like, you're not traveling, there's no reason you have to have your bed behind you. And then here, that's what I ended up with. So I'm now out in the dining room, and those lights are in front of me, decent, but I have a reflection and I have no drapes there. But anyway, that's it. I ran around. I switched up the shelves a little bit, so it'll be a little prettier, and we're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, and by the way, this is episode 50.
Yay! Congratulations!
Which we're being real chill about it, being real alpha flow about it. It's a good milestone though. We should definitely be proud of ourselves for that.
Yeah, it's a good practice what you preach moment to take a breath and realize, how many people say, yeah, I want to do a podcast, and then they're 3 episodes in and wah. So
yeah, and I'll tell you, I have the third of I've done 4 podcasts. This is the third one I've hit 50 episodes. The other 2 took like 2 or 3 years to hit that, and we've done it in basically a year. I think we've actually just scooted under a year.
Okay.
So that's pretty impressive.
I'm impressed by us.
Yeah.
And it's definitely an us thing. I think if I was doing this solo, I don't know that I would have.
Oh yeah, it'd be a lot easier just to be like,
Oh, I got a good
as we said
compliment.
last week, being accountable to each other definitely helps.
Absolutely. I got a good compliment from my neighbor, John. Shout out to you, John, if you're listening. John said, don't take this as an insult. But a lot of your messages are very similar to Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't take that as an insult at all. I love, like, there's a moral to the story. There's reasons, is how we treat each other. It's togetherness. It's, kind of the golden rule. So I'm like, I think that's a huge compliment. So we've been Winnie the Pooh'd.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention Winnie the Pooh because I'm actually wearing no pants and no underwear while I'm recording either. So just a shirt.
I thought you were going to say you were wearing Winnie the Pooh, like Garanimals or something. That's a
Not
visual.
quite.
That's a visual. You're welcome, everyone. You can now picture Paolo in nothing under his waist. So here we go.
Winnie the Pooh get up.
That's the way to flow into our 50th episode, and we're gonna keep doing them. If we even keep getting one person that it brings value to, we're not stopping. One of Ben's sons last night said, your videos don't have very many views. It was on YouTube. I'm like, well, our shorts have thousands of views. And that's not really our purpose, is to have a whole bunch of views on YouTube. But it was funny how perception of success, and if we were being motivated just by numbers alone and we didn't get the feedback that we get, I think it's a great kind of moment to go, do not base your value off of views, right?
Yeah. And we've talked about that before too, right? Like, it's not the podcast is the long form podcast. And by the way, we actually never intended to go on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was always just a podcast, and then we said, all right, we should probably go on YouTube. But we get, sure, maybe there might be some episodes only have like 5 to 12 views, but they're always different people
Yeah.
because I know that because we get feedback from them, and it's what it then feeds, the shorts,
Yeah.
the Instagram reels, the talking points with our coaching, all of it plays in.
Yeah.
And I heard a great discussion with Joe Rogan and actually Chris Williamson, who I mentioned on the last episode. They were talking about that, how, and these two have Rogan's obviously got the most popular, and Chris is up there, top 10 probably. Neither of them particularly care about the views.
Yeah.
They were talking about some podcasts will game the system. They'll chop their episodes up and release multiple of them every day so that
Mm,
the algorithms just prop it up the charts. Just gaming the system essentially, and it's not what it's about. It really isn't.
yeah. I think there's more we can do. Obviously, I sent you a message today. Like, I'm sure we could optimize some things. However, I all I need is that verbal feedback that we get individually, or if we get a message together, and that's the driving motivation. And just what I get alone just from spending this time with you and talking through things out loud. So congratulations, buddy, on 50 episodes. Kudos to
Yeah,
us.
and to anybody listening in these first 50, in 2 or 3 years when we're on, in the hundreds and we have thousands of listeners each week,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to say you were there first. You were there with us from the beginning.
Yep. Supporting, giving us that fuel.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I really want to see 2026 full of more guests for us. I adore
Yes.
our time together. However, we have so many amazing people that we know, and it's so powerful when we can get in a collaboration on here. So that's like a challenge to you and I, at least 6 guests, at least 6 guests. So if you're interested in being a guest, we have our guest form. Just message us, and whatever platform you're listening to this on, just shoot a DM or shoot us a comment, and we will get it over to you. And if we don't know you, we want to know you.
Yeah, and I'd also say I know we do tend to have the business and the entrepreneurial focus, but often our chats end up becoming family stuff.
Yeah.
And as we talked about, leadership is across the spectrum of life. I'd love to have some guests on that are just and just is not the right word, but that are stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your story. How do you? 'Cause I've always said it's the hardest job in the world, actually, being a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
um, or a stay-at-home dad. And I'd love to hear those stories. How do you cope with that stress?
Yeah.
It's a different stress to someone who's perhaps, main focus is bringing in money, but if your focus is running the family, man, I'd love to hear how you deal with that. So yeah, don't be put off if that's your role in life right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. And Thursday, we're doing a mastermind panel for top producing agents, but really it's about what are they killing? They have to be killing it in at least one other area of life, doing 20 million plus and killing it in one other area of life. And we're just getting them together and having panel discussion, because the money, that success is all just a byproduct of everything else that we're doing holistically in our life. And that's very much an alpha flow
Yeah.
message. So as we grow and continue to evolve into 2026, for us, challenging us to continue to get amazing guests on, maybe even have some repeat guests back again. And then two, something else we've been really wanting to do, and we're doing it with this episode, is that we are giving away useful items of value. So today, Paolo's already created a great PDF for exactly how to kind of map out your Alpha Flow 1-page plan for 2026. It's just to get you started.
Yeah. I forget who said it, but they were talking about planning, and yeah, you can write these 10-page plans and whatever, but when you're 6 months in, you're not going to go to page 3, paragraph 4, line 2 and say, okay, how am I doing on this? Having something that you can quickly reference, I think is really, really valuable. And
Yeah.
that's what we're going to kind of walk through today. And, um, and what you said, I created, it wasn't just us, me, it was us. We created it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I'm looking forward to walking through that and helping people get their head around what the next year is going to look like for them.
Yeah. And We talked about this last year, planning, especially, December and New Year's Eve, New Year's resolutions, that fails most of the time. I want to say it's like an 82% fail rate for
Yeah.
people. But it's a perfect time to talk about it because where a lot of people's attention turns to. And for us, we know factually that one of the biggest reasons that people either fail to plan or they fail to execute is because their identity, they did not do any identity work, and it is not in alignment with where they want to be, who they are becoming, the emotional states that they're looking for, and we'll talk about that in this episode. But if you do not do the identity work, even fake it till you make it, I'll go with fake it till you make it, but you have to be purposeful about what it is you're faking. um
Yeah. And why you're faking it. It's
yeah.
all right to fake it till you make it, but you have to know what the end goal is. What are you trying to get to?
Yeah. And that's where coaching comes in. And I've been sitting with our team agents and looking at what they want to do for volume and units, how they're going to fund their life, right? We kind of reverse engineer it. You and I did that work together.
Yeah.
And if you did 15 units this year and now your goal requires you to do 34, it's just a number. Like I can see it in them go, oh my God. So I know they're capable of doing it, but that gap seems so big and no one really steps back and go, how am I going to actually do that? What am I going to do differently? What kind of person goes from 15 units closed to 34 units closed? And oh, by the way, we're in December, so we're already looking at January and February closings right now. So we're already into 2026
Yeah.
when it comes to sales, especially in real estate. So if you don't take the time to really sit down and do the work, which we're going to talk about next, it doesn't matter what paper you use, what app you use. You can put all the best of intentions in there. And if your subconscious is like, who are you kidding? Like that's not who we are. And you're not doing consistent activities to show your subconscious who's boss, then it's just going to be a repeat of probably what you said you wanted to do last year and didn't do.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, so let's jump in.
Yeah.
I I feel like I'm gonna naturally let you lead for the most part because this is totally your wheelhouse.
Mm,
Um, excuse me. I can't. If I ever get sick, I can't shake this for three or 4 weeks. This
yeah.
cough.
Mm,
It's so annoying. So
mm.
but the most annoying thing is it's ruining my singing voice.
Well, I'm still thinking
Um,
about you not wearing pants, so in a
I
totally
wouldn't think about it.
friendly, non-weird way.
It is a strange thought if it were true. Um,
I'm
so
happy to lead, and there's some sections in here that I will add to each other, and there's one that I definitely want you to talk about most.
yeah.
So, let's rock and roll. And we are transparently using our outline to keep on track because we really want to make sure we deliver this to our
Yeah,
audience.
so if you see me looking at my phone, I'm actually looking at the notes that we have
Yes.
for this. So let's open with that the beginning of the PDF, the
Yeah.
one page plan,
Who
and
are
it
you
really is
choosing
all
to
of
be?
yeah, who you choosing to be, and the section before that was, what is the theme of 2026?
Yeah.
So going into the new year, what is the theme? And for some, for me, I'll tell you, for me,
Mhm.
my theme of 2026 is letting the shackles off. And what I
Mm.
mean by that is not giving a fuck about what anybody thinks, because that's something that's always held me back.
Yeah.
And that's my theme for 2026, not giving a fuck.
Not giving a fuck. Okay.
I'm going to be so much
NGF,
trouble when Amy
NGAF.
finds out how much I've spent on music equipment. Um,
Oh,
but
yes. Are we gonna have freaking A? I keep
yes,
okay.
yes.
I'm
My
gonna
2025 goal is happening 2026. But that's all
fine.
part of it, right? It's
Yes.
not giving a fuck. So that's my theme of 2026. You any idea what yours is going to be?
I have to really think about it. I can tell where it's leaning towards. Every time I keep thinking, okay, this year I'm gonna be more settled, I'm more grounded. I'm realizing that I have to create the grounding despite the chaos. I have another Alexander's dad is moving to Princeton area. Schools are way, way better. So come December 18th, they will be in Princeton, but Montgomery Township. So I have a home that I own. The only reason I have it there was to be close to my son. And that is no longer going to be that. So I am going to sell my house and rent something and move my mom, move Gigi, move everyone um to be close to Alexander's. I've got 4 more years left with him.
Yeah.
And we want to change some of our co-parenting scheduling where it's a little more evened out throughout the year versus heavier with his dad in the school year and heavier with me in the summer months. So um every time I keep thinking, oh, okay, finally I can put some roots down. Here we go. So I'm not sure, but it will be, I think, kind of what my life has been and what I've been doing the last few years, but it's finding the ability to stay grounded and function at a high level amidst changes. Cause like
Okay.
that's, I would say that's just life. I mean, it's certainly my life. Um, so I don't know. I don't have a word yet. I did have everyone give a word with business planning clinic this year, and I am going to do some thinking on mine.
I would say it's not a word, but I feel like the theme I'm getting is you're coming out of transition, right? You had
Mm-hmm.
like a year or two of a whole lot of stuff that went on,
Yeah.
and now, you had in what is now going to be a temporary home. It was kind of a placeholder home,
Yep.
so that's part of it. And you're on a new career trajectory. I think that's the theme I'm getting for you. Is just you're now taking that step from transition to whatever that thing is
Yeah.
after a transition.
I don't know. Yeah. It's I also get like it's building, it's growth.
Yeah,
It's what it's what I base basically all my work off of, which is this growth. And yeah, so yeah, maybe it's not a word, maybe it's more saying. It's just like taking ownership, taking radical ownership and taking action and reframing where I need to reframe. And really just looking at the blessings. So who do I need to be to achieve those things? That's the next step. Once you've got kind of your theme, it's maybe you don't feel like that person right now. So you can say like, who do I need to be? Who am I becoming? And that might be becoming the best version of yourself. But what does that actually mean? How do you show up? And this is not necessarily things you're accomplishing and more. Danielle LaPorte has a book called The Desire Map. I absolutely adore it. I recommend it for everyone. It really focuses on you want to make $100,000, $300,000, whatever it is. That's great. But what are the emotions that you're actually desiring? What does that $100,000 do for you? Right? I want to lose weight. What kind of emotions and will I feel when that's been accomplished? So really asking yourself, what are your goals? Fine. But what are the desired emotion that are going to come from those goals? And that's really what you're working off of. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
absolutely. And I think that identity statement is a really powerful part of the plan because
Mhm.
that's the thing you keep coming back to, right? It's like, am I being this person? Is
Yeah.
this who I am right now? And that's a real easy, quick way of grounding yourself as you're trying to make your 2026 goals come to fruition. It's a really, really nice way of checking in with yourself.
It makes it we talked about this in a few episodes ago about commitment. When you get clarity, when you make a commitment, even if you don't fully believe that you can accomplish it, what that does, it allows you to cut out all of the distractions, all of the things that, oh, this could be good, this could be interesting. If it does not move you towards your identity, then it's a no. Even if it keeps you neutral, it's a no. So it creates this space and breath in your life because you can start saying no to so much. And the
Yeah.
things that you used to say yes to, but probably said no to your own personal things, that stops. Because you cannot become someone if you are not saying yes to those things that support you in that identity. And that does not mean putting yourself last.
100%. And, and I was just thinking as we're going through this, I think it's really important people keep in mind, yes, a year will go by very quickly, but so much can happen in that year.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about we've literally we've only been doing this podcast for a year, which what it feels like it's flown by, but then
Yeah.
when you look back, we're like we've actually done 50 episodes. Just think about how much stuff has happened between the two of us. Like go back and listen to the first few episodes and where we were in
Yeah.
life, and I could even point to a few things you'll probably hear me say differently from the first
Mm.
episodes to now. Like, I've grown, I've changed within that year. So much can happen. So many different life events happen. So it's really important to be able to reference these things we're going to go through and write down because it kind of it's a nice kind of pause to say, oh wow, no, I'm not there yet. It's the gap in the game. I'm not
Yeah.
there yet. But look how far I've come.
Absolutely. And also the flip side of it, we tend to overestimate what we can do in 12 months
Yeah,
and underestimate what we can do in 3 years. So we're going to talk about the importance of focusing on like key areas in each kind of category. And I love that you're bringing music back up because people often think if I'm not focused on it right now, it means I have to let go of it. And we're a proponent of letting go of things that you're just kind of dragging along year to year. But if there's something that is really in you and maybe it doesn't fit right now, you don't have to let go of it. You just back burner it a little bit. And then when you got space to move it up, it's like whoop, pull it right on. It's been simmering, it's been ready to go, and now you turn on the flame. So but you cannot be focused on 10 different things in 10 different categories. There's no possible way to have consistency with
yeah,
that. So we're gonna get to that. But right now we're talking about you know the importance of really uncovering not only the things you want to accomplish, but why you want to accomplish them. What's the desired emotion those bring? How do you want to go to bed feeling at night? Right? What do you want to wake up with in the morning? How do you want to think about your relationships? How, when you think about them, what are the desired feelings you want in them, in your job or your career, in your spiritual life, in your overall health, your mind, your body? We often will use a success wheel for that, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. The one pager kind of remove the success wheels. You don't have to do that, but the categories are there. Um, and the importance of focus and clarity because so many of us are just caught up in the hustle and our nervous systems are not designed to just stay up in that chaos constantly. So if you're up there, like the burnout's coming, unless you can figure out how to get that silence, how to get connected, get that vagus nerve operating and communicating from your body to your brain. Um,
yeah,
and that is literally can be 3 minutes a day. 3 minutes a day, or when you realize I really need a grounding or a reset, knowing how to go to those somatic exercises. We definitely have things we've talked about that on the podcast. Maybe we could try to link something back at some point. But learning about your nervous system and how to regulate it
yeah.
and a commitment to that daily is going to be what keeps your ability to stay consistent.
Yeah, and that's the thing to remember as you're executing on this plan is it's the small things you do every single day. I
Mm.
was just having this conversation with someone who struggles with anxiety and was saying kind of, meditation doesn't really help them. And I said, well, it doesn't, it's not meant to, you meditate and now you're calm and the anxiety is gone.
Right.
I mean, it literally rewires your brain
Yeah.
as you do it, but it's just doing it every single day. And I said, if you'd started doing this a month or two ago when we first talked about it,
Mhm.
where do you think you'd be now?
Yeah.
So you just bear that in mind. I'm glad you kind of brought that up. And I want to make sure people really focus on this desired emotions part of it, because it's something I would have rushed through and overlooked and kind of poo-pooed it. But that identifying what those emotions are that you want will really help you, going back to what we were saying in our last couple of episodes, of realizing what you're actually committed to, what are you saying no to, what are you saying yes to. Like, if you're going down a path and you realize this is not making me feel how I want to,
Mhm.
you should probably turn around and go back to where you started and try a different path.
Yeah.
So I think that's a um really important part of the plan to spend some time on. And we're suggesting do 3 to 5, and I think that's how many spaces there are. But if there are more, throw those on too, because
Yeah.
how you feel will really impact what you do.
Yeah.
But being able to identify, well, actually, I didn't want to feel like this, so I shouldn't be doing this. There's kind of two facets to it.
And I really urge you to dig deeper than like a surface emotion. Like you're like, "Oh, I want to feel happy." All
Yeah.
right, that's awesome, right? Happiness is a choice. I want you to feel happy, but there's probably some emotions that are deeper than that. Well, what actually makes you feel happy? Like for me in relationships, my big thing is feeling safe. And that's kind of a new thing for me because I had always kind of taken on my own safety as my own responsibility, which didn't really allow me to be fully vulnerable. Um so I want to be happy, but for me, I feel very happy when I feel safe, when I feel like I can have open communication, I can express emotions. Um for me, where I might have started like I want to feel happy in my relationship, it's really more of a I want to feel safe in my relationship. And that doesn't mean complacent or taking advantage of. It's just that's really how I want to feel. I want to go to bed at night
Yeah.
feeling like I'm with a person who has my best interest at heart and vice versa. So dig deeper than just that first emotion that comes because there's probably something more there which is going to be much better to sorry, I'm trying to log back into my iPad. Um it's going to be much more powerful than just that like I want to feel happy.
Yeah, exactly. And one of mine is to feel more confident,
Mhm.
which is part of the theme. But you dig below that, it's like, why? So because I want to be able to be myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really fucking funny, but a lot of the time I don't get to show people my
Yes.
humor because I'm too worried about, is this going to upset them, or
Yeah.
what if that's not funny. And I just, and that's what music gives me, is when I'm creating music, it brings out this kind of, it just brings out a swagger in me that I feel like I'm myself. And
Mm.
I was thinking about it just the other day when I released my last album, which was three years ago now, which is crazy to think.
Mhm.
When I had the listening party, I was up there talking about how I'm never gonna let this happen again. Like, I feel so alive when I'm making music, and then 3 years later, I still haven't made any more. Um, but excuse me, I mean, a lot of stuff's happened in life, and
Yeah.
it's all been amazing stuff. But
Yeah.
that's the feeling I miss. It's not
Yeah.
even necessarily the making the music, it's
Mhm.
the feeling I get from doing it,
Yeah.
and the feeling I get is being true to myself.
Yes.
That's the feeling I want.
Confidence is such a funny word too for so many people. It's really got a lot of triggers attached to it. So a lot of people will go confidence and then they think egotistical, they think cocky, they think all of these negative words that have been applied to it. But when you are confident, you are at your most powerful. And people will think, well, I need to be humble. You absolutely, being confident to me is being humble because when you're confident, it's your most authentic self that's coming out. And
Mhm.
there's nothing that's more vulnerable than that. And vulnerability to me equals humbleness. So it doesn't,
And confidence, yeah.
yeah.
If you're vulnerable, you gotta be confident.
You absolutely, absolutely. So it's the more you step into your true self, and listen, that takes work for people. We've added on a lot of layers and we've been told a lot of shoulds. You should do this, you should do that, you should be this from ourselves, from the people that love us the most, from outside people. This is really about taking the next few weeks, seriously, and just working to remember what actually brings you joy. Where are you the happiest? And there's so many exercises with that. When you write down some of those emotions, ask yourself, okay, I want to feel safe. All right. Where are the times in your life where you felt the safest? Who have you been around? What's been going on? What have you been doing? Or felt the most joy, or felt the most confident? When are the moments you feel the most confident? For you, it's in the creation of music. Um, so it's just, so many people just skip right past this. And for us, it's where you're going to start. And we're going to talk about kind of 6 alpha flow life areas. We mentioned the success wheel. We've kind of removed the wheel and we've just got some areas here. And I'm going to read through them and then we'll touch on each one real quick. So it's
Yeah.
self, body, relationships, business, money. Notice how business and money are 2 separate things. Spiritual, and those are the 6 that we have noted. So I'll start with self because I want you to definitely talk about body, but self, we're talking about nervous system with this. So the self is like, how are you regulating yourself? And the biggest thing with that is we want to be in a state where we are responding to things around us, not reacting. Again, I'll use myself. When I am reactive, I am aggressive, I am angry, I can be short-sighted. Um, I typically, when I'm reactive and once I've settled down, like, oh, that was good, but that really wasn't good. So you want to be able to stop yourself for a minute and ask yourself, am I responding or reacting? And then what do I need to do to get to a place where I can be responsive and not reactive? So for me, it could be taking a deep breath. Just doing that is going to send those impulses down your spine and then back up to your prefrontal cortex, which is where logic is. Logic is helpful, but logic makes you think, but emotions make you act. So we need to combine that logic thinking with those real emotions, which are the ones you're going to act on. So
Yeah.
doing both. So your ability to, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through, actually Curtis Dixon posted something on Instagram today and he messaged me like, hey, can you post on this? Which, by the way, if your friends are posting on any socials, comment on what they write. Even if it's a snide comment like my buddy here does with my vegan posts. Thanks for the Google juice. He was talking about that and people were kind of posting what they do. So for me, it's like, I got to get up from where I'm at. I have to get up. I have to take a breath. I normally let out a very audible sigh. And if I have an opportunity, I'll just throw some music on or I'll switch the music up. And I can change pretty quickly. Tony Robbins refers to getting into state. So music is
Yeah.
really powerful for that. So whatever it is for you, it might be breathing, it might be body tapping, it might be flailing your arms around. There is something called sacred rage, which you can, take a medicine ball and just like smash it into the ground. I recommend not touching walls, but there's a lot of different things depending on the state that you're in. I have a fantastic app that I use called NeuroFit, and actually I have to give a quick shout out to NeuroFit. Shout out with some transparency. So NeuroFit is who I'm certified with for nervous system fitness. I kept getting this recurring charge for a 3-month subscription and I couldn't have, it wasn't for any of my clients. It wasn't for myself. I'm like, where is this coming from? So they responded back. And when they responded back with who was receiving it, it was Mark. And so I messaged them and I said, thank you for finding this out. You can probably look and see that his account was not used, and unfortunately he lost his life to suicide. I don't like to say took his life anymore. I've
Yeah.
kind of changed that. Um, and I just said, listen, if there's anything you can do, I'd appreciate it. And I put a little bit more. Anyway, they responded back and they gave me 3 years of app access for myself.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I took this really deep breath when they responded with that. And I just thought, that's really cool. That's a really cool thing to do. So, shout out to NeuroFit. It's been probably one of the most valuable tools for my coaching clients that are really addressing significant life things,
Yeah.
which we all are. Um, but if anyone is interested, more than happy to share my link with you, and I can even see your dashboard if you want me to, and give some guidance when it comes along to that. But it's a very simple way to do a nervous system check-in. It tells you what somatic exercise is going to be the most beneficial for the state that you're in. Then it times it for you and shows you what it looks like. You can pick a couple options normally, and then you'll do a recheck in, see if you need another balance. And then there's also something called Clear on it, which is basically like AI therapy. I was super skeptical of it in the beginning, and now I think it's pretty brilliant. It's not going to replace true coaching, but it's pretty brilliant for what it is.
Yeah.
So I digress. But getting to a place where you can be responsive instead of reactive. And let me tell you, this is probably the biggest thing when it comes to the people that you love. And I'm going to go right to children. Even the looks we give our children, and I am super guilty of this. Like that look, like if you don't stop right now, like I'm going to hurt you. Even though I've never laid a hands. But then I was like, Jesus, as a child, like your parent is your safe haven, like the place you're supposed to be the most loved. And I'm not talking about not having correction or teaching or punishment, but I'm like, God, I need to get a check on some of these looks. Because I just see the look on my son's face just kind of like drain out sometimes. And I'm like, I was trying to get a result as fast as I could without having to say stuff. And I don't know that I would wanna look at myself looking at that face, and I don't know that I really want my child to see a face like that all the time. So, um, I think it can be valuable, especially when you can't, I'm not a yeller really either. He's such a good kid, but being being responsive and not reactive, especially to our children, I think is a huge superpower. It takes a lot for me of thought and patience.
Yeah, and kind of on that note of thought and patience, I think the biggest thing with working on self,
Mm, mm,
I was having a conversation with someone the other day about this too, was if you want to, and it goes back to the identity statement, and if you want to become someone new,
yeah,
you have to be obsessive with who that person is.
yeah,
And I think to the biggest leaps in my own self development is when I was completely obsessed, listening to audio books, podcasts. There was nothing else that was of interest to me at that point. I wanted to consume it all.
mm,
And alongside the meditation and some of the nervous system regulation stuff, I think it's really important to make sure that you're putting time aside to work on yourself, even if it's not you physically doing something. So even if you're washing the dishes and listening to something or tidying up around the house, going for a walk, choose something that's going to be, educational or something like music that's going to put you in the right kind of frame of mind.
yeah,
Um,
and
that would be my advice with the self part of
mm.
that.
Two last things on that. There's a meme that went around for a while, it's still out there. Um, Something like if you don't address your inner demons, they will raise your children.
Yeah.
Like if you don't address the wounds and the crap that you have going on in you, that is who will raise your children. And that was really powerful. Um, Two, we keep talking about it, meditation. So along with nervous system fitness, meditation, and we've talked about this before, really important for people to know that meditation is not necessarily about what's happening in your meditation. It's about the state that you get into and what happens after that meditation. So if you have a misconception that you need to go into this meditative state where you have this heightened experience. Sure, that can happen, but you're not doing it wrong. It's really just about getting into some of that stillness, or maybe do a walking meditation. There are so many different types of meditation. There's like a guy that like swears through the whole meditation. Like there is something out there for everyone. And you can start with 30 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Does not have to be anything extensive. But I don't want people to feel intimidated by meditation.
Yeah.
And again, it's really the state that you get into after the meditation. So that's self-regulation, knowing how to go from reactiveness to responsiveness, totally different. And now we're going to move into body as the energy multiplier.
I was going to say, I'm keeping an eye on the time here.
Yeah.
I think we should do body,
Yeah.
and then we'll end the episode, and then we'll do episode 2, part 2. We'll
Okay.
do the rest, because I really don't want to rush
Yeah.
going through all of this. And I think if you want to, the link will be in the show notes. If you want to
Mhm.
download and start on what we've talked about already, that's
Yeah.
great. Or if you want to wait until episode 2's done, I don't know who ChatGPT thought he was dealing with, giving us the timeline like that, because
Doesn't
it
know
ain't
us
happening.
very well. How, how can I withhold all this other good information?
Yeah. Yeah. So body. Obviously, I think people focus too much on, am I too fat? Am I too skinny? And that's all they think about.
Mhm.
I want my wish for people going into 26 is to start thinking of their body as more than that. You know, not having enough muscle, being too skinny is a symptom of something.
Mm.
Being overweight, having too much body fat is a symptom of something. It's metabolic dysfunction. Maybe you're not digesting food properly, so you're not able to use all the fuel you're bringing in, and that's why you can't put any weight on. Or conversely, you're not able to lose the weight because your body's just in a complete freak out mode. Maybe you have leaky gut. Maybe you got some dysbiosis in your gut. Maybe your adrenals are shot.
Mm.
And this is my big thing at the moment is, and it's something I've always, as a trainer for 20 years, I always put a lot of focus on not overworking people. And I think, unfortunately, there's this huge trends of, these high intensity classes and whatnot. I think that we are going to see some real negative consequences of that in the next 10 to 20 years, because I don't think people appreciate how much you're fucking up your adrenals and your HPA axis, the amount of stress you're putting on your body doing it. And I think a lot of my gut issues came from the marathon. I think
Mm.
the amount of stress I was under putting my body in training for that
Yeah.
was a big cause of that. So I want people to think about their body as a bit more than just, I want to lose 5, 10 pounds. And yes, that's great if that's the goal. Obviously, that gives you other feelings. You feel more confident. You feel more yourself. But think of it from a more holistic standpoint, because if you start treating your body right, you'll lose the weight easily. I mean, I had a client going through um their GI map. We saw they were really, really low, almost like no, um, they had no none of this bacteria that plays a real key part in, uh, essentially consuming fat, and
Yeah.
and and they call it the lean bacteria. So they could have been doing everything right, and then they had this imbalance in their gut, and they weren't having the outcomes they wanted. So just think of your body more holistically, and everything that you can do around exercise, nutrition, all of that, that's going to lead into a bit more than just how you look in the mirror.
Yeah. I really need you right now to tell people how they can connect with you. I'm forcing a plug, which is not even a plug, because people will hear this and we feel helpless. Like I did Viome before and I got information back and it was interesting and helpful. But what you are doing and what you offer and the guidance that you offer, that is the next step to take when someone's like, you know what? I've tried a million things and It sounds kind of what he's talking about. I've heard this before. I'm hearing it. Like, how can someone connect with you to learn more about what you're talking about, and how, like, you don't have to guess. Like, you can get the labs and get the written diagnosis, maybe you don't call it diagnosis, but the written results back, and then actually have someone alongside you that's not in a doctor role to have discussion about this.
Yeah, just go to my Instagram, Paolo Health. That's the best place to connect with me. I have so many free resources, all these like 8 to 10 PDFs, 8 to 10 page PDFs. I have a whole audio book for parents on how to, think about nutrition and things like that and their kids' health.
Mm.
I have a whole bunch of stuff. More people need to consume it. So yeah,
Right there. I mean, that's great. And it's like there's so much good, amazing information out there for free. But that's the difference between really committing to something. And most of us need more than just that free. Like, we really need someone alongside us. So, Palo
yeah,
Health on Instagram.
yeah.
Okay.
And don't, and I want to make sure, don't, if you don't have the budget for the lab, so I'm more than happy to help you with coming up with some kind of protocol, because as important the labs are, because they do show you exactly the right protocols to put in place and exactly what's going on with your body. A lot of the times you know, you could take 10 people with completely different labs and the protocols are going to be pretty similar. Like, we know we've got to get the gut in order, get it more balanced, make sure there's no leaky gut going on. There's a lot of things you can do. And, I see my role as just removing all of the overload of noise around health.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get annoyed with some of the influencers I really like. 'Cause I'm just like, you're just throwing so much shit at people right now. They don't need to be worrying about, you know, taking collagen for, like,
Mm,
that's not something they should be focused on right now.
yeah.
But they're pushing collagen because they sell a fucking product that's got,
Yeah.
So I just, that was a big thing with my practice, as I've mentioned before, is for me right now, it's not my main source of revenue at all, and I don't care for it to be right now. I just want to help people.
Yeah.
So yes, please don't feel intimidated by the idea of having to, my packages aren't cheap, but they're worth it. But if you don't have the budget for it right now, I'm still happy to help you and do whatever I can to get you on the right track.
Just take the next step into that journey and go to Palo Health and look at some of the free resources, have a conversation. And I think if we kind of recap the two things we just did, self and body, if you are out of alignment, if you are constantly reactive, if you are popping gas X pills and having gut pain a lot, and if you've just gotten to the point where you think this is just normal, I'm just stressed out, I'm just overworked, I'm just a gassy person, whatever it might be, these are not normal things. Like, you do not have to live your life that way. And we've made these things normalized
Yeah.
because we see it advertised all over television. We're around people that are having similar challenges. We think this is just what it is. And we're here to tell you that's not the case.
Yep.
So you have options, and we're both still exploring it together, separately and together. And we are inviting you to take another step in to really setting yourself up for success for well beyond 2026, but it starts here.
Yeah, and just to tie those two together, they're so synergistic. If you're, we keep talking about the gut, but if your gut is out of balance,
Mhm.
the impact that's going to have on your mood and how you can regulate your nervous system, we talked about that, right? There's
Yeah,
a symbiotic relationship with the gut and the brain. We call the gut the second brain.
yeah.
If
Maybe
we're
it's the
not
first
getting
brain.
those two working together,
Yeah.
you're really fighting a losing battle on
Yep.
both fronts.
Yep.
So
And your mindset
it's
doesn't
really
matter.
important as you're going through this, think about those two together.
Yes. Yes. Because you can have the best mindset in the world, but if you're, again, 80% of the communication, vagus nerve is body to brain, best mindset in the world. If you do not have that connection and understand how to do that regulation, you're using 20% of your ability to actually be in a state that is good and healthy and something that you want. And by the way, is impacting everyone that's around you, whether you like them or don't like them, at a super high level, because you're not operating in a vacuum. So you're having an
Yeah.
impact on everyone from the grocery store clerk to your coworker to your spouse or significant other to your children, whoever it might be. Like, we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to add positive to this world, and also to be able to like enjoy our life. And so many of us are just like, there's that pebble in the shoe and you just get used to it and it hurts with
Hmm.
every step, but you're like, this is just what it is. And like, we're here to be like, all we have to do is just go in and take the pebble out. But you got to stop for a second. You got to take off your shoe. You got to look in there and see what's going on in here right now. What's causing this for me? Maybe I don't see something. Then I get people around me that I trust and go, do you see something in here? And they're like, yeah, actually. Have you looked at this? Have you tried this?
I love that.
Cool. All right.
All right, friends.
Until
I'm
next
not
time,
gonna do. I'm
friends.
not gonna do your tagline. I'm not gonna do your tagline. But I was just thinking though. I know we said if you're gonna start the worksheet, you could do self and body, but don't, because we are gonna talk about because we've got the focus, what to focus on in there, the
Yep.
quality focusing and all that. So stop after desired emotions. But
Yes.
that's honestly, if you do it properly, that part shouldn't take you 30 minutes at
Yeah.
least. If
And
you
go
really
back
do it properly.
and,
Yeah.
and go back and dig deeper. And if you want another resource, check out The Desire Map by Danielle LaPorte.
All right, I'll put that in the notes too.
Yeah. I have a book here, White Hot Truth, but Desire Map, and it's like a journaling workbook. So
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Oh, we're talking of success wheel, and I've talked about it on here before. Before you do sign off, I have a health. It's like the success wheel, but it's a health wheel.
Yeah.
You can go to it. Just go to what's it under on my thing? I think it's quiz.getalphahealth.com. I'll put a link in the notes. It's free.
Link it up.
Take you 15 minutes. I think they say it takes 3 minutes to do it. And you'll see where you, and this will help you prepare for the body thing. Where is your health misaligned right now?
Cool. Powerful questions. For God's sakes, people take a quiz. What kind of potato are you?
Yeah. I've done 3 or 4 posts on Instagram with that, and no one's ever clicked on it.
All right, time to step into action. We're
Yeah.
here for you. Stay tuned for part 2. Until next time, friends. Bye for now.